Welcome back to Split the Party. As always, I'm your host, Steve Osmond, and today I'm talking about a subject that is near and dear to my heart, and another one that is nowhere near in my heart. Deck building, the deck building game. I love playing deck building games. Building decks, not so much. Not really a thing that I do generally, but this is, it's a cheap game. I picked it up for $10. Like, I want to see what this is like. It takes 20 minutes. It's really, really fun. It's only a two-player game, and the two of you are competing. Actually, I'll read it right out of the rules because I think they say it best. In Deck Building, the deck building game, both players are playing as average suburban neighbors, competing to see who can build the best deck on the back of their houses. You're just two guys who live next door to each other and are having a you-know-what measuring contest to see who ends up with the better deck. The game is really, really simple. You've got a number of planks. I have them shown here. There are rotten, it's rotten, cedar, I don't remember, sorry, I just played this. Rotten pine, cedar, and mahogany planks. Each are worth more points in that successive order. Then you've got your railings. Regular railings and ornate railings. For scoring purposes, at the end of the game, you're going to score like chunks together. So I've got these two rotten planks together. They're going to score as a unit. So are these two. Now, these two are not connected orthogonally, so they won't score. The mahogany will score just itself because it's not connected to anything else. And then this railing scores, and stairs in this game count as regular railings. So you would score that as well. The game is really, really quick. On each of your turns, you're going to have 3 cards. So you'll look at the back of the cards, and they have a number of screws on them. You add those screws together. You can take 2 actions on your turn. They can be identical actions or one of any of the 3. The first thing you can do is you can purchase. You'll have 2 stacks sitting here. And you'll notice also screws on the back of these cards. That's the purchase cost. So I have 9 available to me with these 3 cards. I could take both of my actions if I wanted and buy those 2 or buy this one and see what's under it. Those go into your discard pile to get shuffled in and become a part of your deck for building a deck later. The other action you can take is actually playing. That's where you put one of your cards out here. Once you've played your first card, every other card must be adjacent to another plank or railing that you have built on your deck. You can't start here and then put another card over here and say, I'll fill in the middle. They have to continue in adjacency. The third and final action that you can take is it's staining, and that's what these tokens are for that I've got on here. There are 3 different ways to stain. You can stain an individual tile. You can stain 2 tiles by laying it on the crack in between them, or a full 4 by laying it out across the 4 corners. What staining does is it makes it so that those planks or railing cards can no longer be changed. Because when you're playing with 2 people, I can play on my deck. I can also play on yours. While you're over there banging away on your deck and you're putting planks in there, I can go throw some rotten lumber in there so you end up putting a rotten plank tile on the board. You want to stain them to make sure I can't mess with them anymore. You're locking in those points. Now, obviously, you're probably going to want to lock in things that are worth a little bit more than the 2 rotten lumber tiles that I've gotten here. But it's a really quick game. The game plays out until one of 2 things has happened. One of these 2 decks is empty, or you don't have anything left in your deck that hasn't been played on your deck. Once your hand, discard pile, and deck are completely empty, and you have only actual deck left, the game is over. Then you go to the scoring phase. To score, you just add up on any like tile, for instance, these 2 cedar tiles. I add up the total number of screws, which is 6, multiply it by the number of cards, which is 2. So I've got 12 points for that section. And I go through, do that for everything, add up the total, and that's how many points I've got. I just played this game for the first time about 15 minutes ago. We played through it. It took us like probably 15, 20 minutes to play the game. Now, granted, it's Steve King. You've probably seen him on the show. He and I are pretty familiar with deck building games, but I would say just about anybody could pick this one up and be playing within 5 to 10 minutes. It is a really, really simple, very fun game. It's a light little travel game. I mean, this is, if you decide to keep everything in the box, it's only going to be about this big. It can fit in your pocket. I can easily see where this could go into. I've got my travel box of games. This is probably going to live in there. This is a good one for people to pick up as a filler game. Because again, it's only a 20-minute game. It's only a $10 purchase, and it's really, really fun. The theme comes out really well. It's just a good time, and I think everybody should give this one a shot. That's about all I've got for today, and I'd like to thank our sponsors, Dual Bus Design, Excelsior Games and Comics, and SoundG Entertainment. And as always, I'll see you in the Nerdverse.